It's time for your Low Country real estate market update. It's the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. Brian is one of the top 1% real estate agents in Charleston. Find him online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-345-1273. Now, broadcasting from the WTMA studios, here's your host, Brian Beatty.
Good morning, Charleston. You're listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'm your host, Brian Beatty, and if this is your first time tuning in, this is a program where we talk real estate here in the Low Country. I like to take a lot of local, regional, national news, apply it to us here in the Low Country so that if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, you've got some good quality information, some good expectations set, you have a good idea of what's going on in the market, and you can make some good quality decisions. If you'd like to reach out to me at any point, please feel free to do so. I am a realtor during the week. I've been in the top 1% of agents since 2009. I can be reached by cell phone at 843-345-1273, or you can go to my website, listingsincharleston.com, and on that website, you can take a look at everything I have for sale, everything I've sold, which is a constant work in process. You can read some testimonials from past clients, and if you're thinking about selling your house, click on the Sell Your Home tab. You can learn more about my 59-day home sale guarantee at 4.5% commission. Basically, I'll sell your home in less than 2 months, or I'll sell it for half my commission. Not a bad deal. So let me tell you what I want to talk about this weekend. Last weekend, I talked a lot about investment properties, and I thought it would make sense for this weekend to bring on a property manager to talk about that very important part of the puzzle, getting rental projections, having somebody handle that portion of the business for you. So I've got Lindsay Blackbird of Island Realty on the line. Hey, Lindsay, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you today?
Good. So I was talking last weekend about investment properties. It's something that we focus on, one of the things we focus on this show. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have you on and talk a little bit about just the process of hiring a property manager, the value that you bring to the table, and ask you some specific questions that also find out what's going on in our rental market. So maybe we can start with that first. Can you tell us a little bit about just the overall supply and demand of rental property in the Charleston area and what's going on?
Of course. Overall, the supply is down, which increases the demand. There are so many people moving into Charleston right now, into the greater Charleston area, that there is a real need for rentals.
Gotcha.
A lot of people don't want to buy right off the bat, or, as you know, the supply of homes for sale is not that high, so they're looking to rent either for a short time, more of a corporate rental, or for a longer duration, such as a typical annual rental.
Gotcha. And are there any areas of Charleston that just seem to be doing much better than others?
They're all doing well. Downtown, of course, is always a hot spot. Somerville is actually a really popular area right now with all of the industry that's moving into the Dorchester and Berkeley County area. Mm-hmm. Somerville is really exploding. They have a huge amount of industry moving in, people moving to the area. It's more of a typical bedroom community where people like to reside, as opposed to in the hustle and bustle of the city. So right now, that is really our hot spot.
Okay. One of the things that we do as real estate agents, of course, is help people find investment property. I think that it's very valuable to align myself with a quality property manager, somebody like you, that can help me with the process of analyzing potential investment properties, taking a look at a few things. Number one, what's the projected rent going to be so that we have that piece of the puzzle in place? Because obviously nobody's going to buy a property without first knowing what it's going to rent for. That's how we come up with our projected return on investment. But then you can also supply some things like the average time that it's going to take to find a renter and maybe help with some anticipated fees. Can you tell me a little bit about that process?
Of course. When an investor is first working with a real estate agent and they have their eye on a particular property, we can do what we call a pro forma or a CMA, depending on what their needs are. And we do a rental projection. We base that on historical facts. We use the MLS for that, just as a sales agent would. Mm-hmm. And we also we really have our thumb on the pulse of the rental market, so sometimes we can't always put it in black and white. It's more of what we know a property can go for, because a lot of times when you're talking about the rental market, there aren't exact comps, and we just have to kind of weigh what we know and what we hear when we're out and about with renters.
Right.
So we get together a rental projection based on the historical information, and then we talk about what the investor is putting into it, how much work it might need. So there's really a cooperative relationship with the property manager, with the sales agent, and with the investor.
Right. One of the things that I've noticed is that when investors are looking at property, let's say that they're not a seasoned investor, sometimes they don't take some pretty key things into account, like the average amount of time it's going to take to find a tenant. We call that vacancy loss. Or they don't set aside a budget for inevitable maintenance. Or they don't include something like a home warranty that would help them. And so I think that having a property manager take kind of a 30,000-foot view of the market and discuss the trends, but then also help that investor and that agent, maybe the agent doesn't do a lot of investment property, helping them with putting all of those pieces of the puzzle together, I think is invaluable, because that's what helps us determine whether or not that's a good investment property or not. And the other thing that's interesting about the rental market right now, at least from my perspective, is that in our market, prices are increasing. And there's always going to be a new highest sale in the real estate market, just like there's going to be a new highest rental property in the rental market. And so that's why I think having a pulse on the market, like you said, is incredibly important, because the same thing goes in a market that's on a downward spiral. When prices are going down and somebody wants to sell their house, obviously we list it for a little bit lower than the most recent sale that was comparable, because we know where prices are going. Same thing applies when prices are going up, both in a resale market and in a rental market. One thing that I think is really important about the property management process is the accounting and the administrative side of property management, which I think that a lot of individual homeowners, I'm just going to be kind of frank with it, I think they fail miserably at it. They don't account for their income, they don't account for their expenses, they don't use those things to help them with taxes. Tell me a little bit about that process.
Okay. We do have state-of-the-art property management software, so that is specifically developed for the rental market and property management. So at the end of every year, the first thing we do is we give all of our owners a statement for their taxes saying how much income they made. We also have a record of what they spent. So all of their maintenance items, we can put that together, because of course you would know that that is tax deductible.
Right.
So we have a record of all of that, and we can give that to them to help them with their taxes, when they're meeting with their accountant, if they're deciding to keep the property, sell the property, put some money into it, maybe get a higher rent, things like that.
Just the time that it takes to properly account for the dollars and cents associated with rental property, in my mind, is worth the charge that property managers have. But then you've got the completely other side of the process, which is accounting for the rent, making sure it's paid on time, and then dealing with all the issues that inevitably come up with tenants when you've got rental properties, sending contractors out there, sending a plumber out there, my toilet won't flush, blah, blah, blah. Anybody listening that's considering investment property, reach out to me. I'm happy to start the process with you in tandem with Lindsay Blackburn from Island Realty. Lindsay, how can people reach you?
They can call our office at 843-886-4041. Or, of course, our website is islandrealty.com. You will want to choose the annual rentals tab that is on the right of the website on the menu bar. Our office is located on the Isle of Palms, but, of course, we work throughout the entire Tri-County area. We're in the business where we usually go to the property. So you don't need to visit our office, but, of course, you can if you'd like.
Very good. Well, Lindsay, I really appreciate your time this morning, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Okay. Thank you so much. You too, Brian.
All right. So just kind of a view into what it means to work with the property manager. And there's a lot more that we really didn't get to that property managers do. Obviously, we can't justify everything that they do in a 10-minute segment. But if you're considering investing in real estate, this is a really important piece of the puzzle. This is something that, in my mind, you should take into consideration. Hiring a property manager, the fee that they charge in proportion to all of the work that they do, in my mind at least, is very, very small. I can see property managers charging a lot more for the things that they do because I own investment property, because I've tried to do property management by myself, and it kills me. It is a long, hard, frustrating process. So again, that was Lindsay Blackburn of Island Realty. If you're considering investing in real estate, give me a call, 843-345-1273, or go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. You can take a look at everything for sale out there. And of course, you can contact me through that site, listingsincharleston.com. Coming up next, I want to talk about finding quality service providers online. I'm going to tell you a story about trying to get my roof replaced and the ridiculousness that I've had to go through to try and find a quality contractor. And I'm going to relate that to real estate. So stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA. I'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. WTMA. Expert news and views on the Lowcountry real estate scene. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back, Charleston. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA. Thanks again for joining me this morning. Our first segment, we talked with Lindsay Blackburn of Island Realty, and we were talking about the process of property management, what they bring to the table for the value. And in my opinion, I'm going to reiterate this. I think they are an invaluable asset if you find the right one. There are plenty of property managers out there, just like there are plenty of real estate agents out there, plenty of contractors out there, plenty of people in the service business, in the real estate industry. And finding the good ones just seem to be tough. And that's what I want to talk about now. I want to talk about this ridiculous process that I've been through to try and get a new roof put on my house and to try and get windows replaced in my house. And I want to talk about this because there are a lot of correlations here between contractors and real estate agents and property managers and just people in the industry. First, if you'd like to contact me, you have a question, concern, you want to talk real estate, something I can help you with personally, feel free to give me a call, 843-345-1273, or go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. And on that website, you can take a look at everything for sale in our MLS by all real estate agents, all companies. You can take a look at my personal listings, take a look at everything I've sold. And if you're thinking about selling your house, click on the Sell Your Home tab, and you can learn more about what I do to market my properties for sale. You can also learn more about my 59-day home sale guarantee. Very simply, I will sell your home in less than 2 months, or I will sell it for half my commission. So again, the website for that, listingsincharleston.com. So let me tell you this story about trying to get my roof replaced and trying to get new windows put on my house. I can't even believe that this is a segment that I'm doing on this radio program, but I know that there are plenty of people out there that have been through the exact same situation, whether it be trying to find a quality contractor or trying to find a quality real estate agent. It's just mind-boggling to me. So here's what I did. I went online. I typed in roof replacement in Charleston, and I typed in windows replacement in Charleston. And of course, as always, you have, through Google, on the first page, companies that are paying to be there. And some of these companies are paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month just to be on that first page of Google. I know because I do it too. And so I put in my information. I fill out their online survey. I say, here's my name, phone number, email address, home address. I'm looking to have my roof and windows replaced as soon as possible. I did that 6 times 2 weeks ago. And of those 6 online inquiries, I had 2 people call me back, both of which were about 2 days after I made that online inquiry. Of the 2 people that actually called me back, only one came to the appointment. Both of them set an appointment. One of them just stood me up. So obviously they're not getting my business. I had one person come by. We walked through the property. We talked about the roof, color of the roof, what kind of roof I want. My windows are custom, so we're doing custom windows. And it's a big job. I mean, it's an expensive job. And I don't understand, what do I have to do to get contractors to come to my house and do some work? I mean, it's ridiculous. So anyways, I get this quote 10 days later, and just me being diligent, I want to get more than one quote because I was talking to this contractor about my issues and my story and how it was so difficult to just get him here or to get several people there. And so I want to just make sure, just for the sake of checks and balances, that I've got at least one, maybe two more quotes that I can compare to make sure that they are doing the right thing and that they're charging a fair amount. And one thing that I have learned, by the way, with contractors is that most of the time you get what you pay for. I personally am no longer interested in finding the person that's going to do it for the lowest amount of money. I've not really had good results with that. And I'm not saying that if you're listening to call me and say, hey, I'm going to do a good job for you, but because you said that I'm going to take advantage of you, I'm going to inflate my price a little bit. That's not what I'm after. All I want is a quality contractor to give me a fair price, tell me when the work is going to be done, and then just go. I want a new roof. I want new windows. That's it. That's all I want. And there might be a fantastic relationship that blossoms between me and that contractor because, let's face it, I deal with a lot of people on an annual basis. This year, we're on track to sell just a little over 100 homes, and almost every home that we sell has to have repairs prior to it selling or after the buyer moves in. And so I have this fantastic opportunity for contractors, if you're listening, to get a lot of business. And I've been in the business for 8 years, and I've been through plenty of contractors, and the reason I feel like I still don't have really quality choices in all areas is because they will talk the talk, and they will have a good marketing budget. They are visible. They might have commercials on TV. They might have magazine ads. They might be on the first page of Google. But at the end of the day, if their customer service is poor or if their quality of workmanship is poor, they are not going to be on my list. And so here I am, top agent, been a top agent for a long time, and I still need help with finding quality contractors. So that's your cue. If you're listening, if you think you're a quality contractor and you'd like to offer your services to me and to my clients and to my sphere of influence, please contact me. I'm asking you to contact me because I need your help, and I need for you to be a professional. My number, 843-345-1273, and my website is listingsincharleston.com. And I hope that when I check my email later this weekend that I am flooded with emails and inquiries from contractors that are willing to help. That would really make my day, quite frankly, because it tells me that people are listening, and it tells me that people are trying to just do what they say they're going to do and be a quality contractor. I don't know why it's so hard in Charleston. I don't know if it's Charleston. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like it's tough to find contractors that are consistent, that do good work, and that do it for a fair price. And maybe you've had the same experience. Maybe not. Maybe if you have somebody that you think does a great job and you want to refer them to me, send me an email through my website. Again, listingsincharleston.com. But this is kind of, in a way, a little bit of a cry for help in that I would like to have more contractors at my disposal to refer to my clients, but you've got to be a quality contractor. I really pride myself in being a quality professional that bases his business on honesty, integrity, and results. So I'm going to check references because that's what my clients would want me to do before I refer them to you. So let's have a conversation about it. Happy to discuss what you bring to the table, and hopefully there's an opportunity there for both of us. But, it's interesting because I find, obviously, correlations between the issues that I have on what seems to be a recurring basis with contractors, whether I hire them or my client has hired them and I don't know who they are, or they're doing work on a property that my buyer is purchasing and the work isn't up to par. It just seems to be tough. It seems like contractors are a dime a dozen, and it's tough to find the hard ones. And the same exact thing applies with real estate agents. There are plenty of real estate agents out there that have massive marketing budgets to find leads online, or they've got commercials, or they've got billboards, or they've got magazine ads. Maybe they've got all of them. And I'm not singling any particular agent out, but if you're going to be that visible, if you're going to tout yourself as being this professional that people are drawn to, then you've got to follow it up with quality customer service, and your processes have to be in place so that when I make an inquiry, I actually get a quick response. And it's interesting, in 2006, I was Entrepreneur of the Year in Charleston at the School of Business at the College of Charleston for creating an online real estate marketing company. So I understand all of this very, very well. It's one of the reasons why clients hire me, because I have a great grasp on online marketing. And that's where over 90% of buyers start their search. So it makes sense that you hire somebody that understands that space. But I'll tell you, let me just, anybody that's listening, by the way, if you run a service-oriented business and you're online, here are some very important things for you to know. These are things that I know off the top of my head that have been ingrained into the way that I run my business. Number one, the difference between contacting somebody within the first 5 minutes and then 30 minutes drops by 100 times. So in other words, if you don't contact somebody in the first 5 minutes, your opportunity to contact them drops by over 100 times if you let it get to as much as 30 minutes. After 20 hours, you have a less than 1% chance of converting that lead into potential business. In fact, some say that if you call somebody 20 hours or more after they've made contact, it actually hurts your chances to get the business because they said, all right, well, I guess they're not interested. The other thing I know is that Wednesdays and Thursdays are the best times to contact people, and the best times to contact them are between 8 and 9 and 4 and 6. A lot of people that are working don't want to be bothered during the middle of the day because they're in the middle of their work. If you get them in the morning, you get them in the afternoon, that's when they're prepared to talk with you and have a quick conversation about the inquiry that they submitted. So again, if you're listening, if you run any sort of business that's online, responding to those inquiries immediately is incredibly important, and it demands that you have the right process and people in place if you're not the one calling them immediately. So just a little bit about what I know about online marketing. If you're considering selling your house, if something like this is something you find value in, then give me a call. I'd love an opportunity to speak with you about how I can help you. I'll talk with you about my marketing plan and how I've tweaked it over the past 8 years of being in this business for it to be something that really focuses on online marketing. So feel free to give me a call, 843-345-1273, or go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. And again, if you're a contractor, contact me. I need my roof replaced. I need windows replaced, and I want to have a conversation with you about it. And I'd also like to see if you might be somebody that would be a good fit for me to refer additional business to. So this is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about after hiring the agent. We've focused, of course, on finding quality contractors and agents and so on and so forth. But I want to talk about communication after being hired. Big issue in our industry. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA. I'll be right back.
Have a real estate question? Ask Brian Beatty. Send him an email, lowcountryhomesales@gmail.com. That's lowcountryhomesales@gmail.com. WTMA. Now, here's more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back, Charleston. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA. Thanks again for joining me this morning. You know, I always like to take a little bit of time each show to just say thank you for listening. I know I've got a lot of people out there that listen on a consistent weekly basis, and I've helped a lot of people this year buy and sell real estate as a function of this program, and I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and thank you for entrusting me with your interest, really, and allowing me to share some information and experiences and data with you that will help you with your real estate needs and goals. So if there's anything that I can do to help you out, maybe you just want to have a conversation, you're not ready right now, but you just want to have a chat, not a problem. Would love to. My number, 843-345-1273. You can also text me at that number, or go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. Again, you can search all homes for sale in the area on that site. You can learn more about what I do to market my properties for sale. You can see what I have for sale, see what I've sold. And if you're considering selling your house, click on the Sell Your Home tab. You can learn more about my 59-day home sale guarantee, which very simply states I'll sell your home in less than 2 months, or I will sell it for half my commission. Some restrictions apply to that, so go online, listingsincharleston.com, submit your information, we'll have a conversation about it. So last segment, we were talking about how difficult it has been for me to find a quality contractor to replace my roof and windows, and we kind of springboarded that conversation into the issues that we as an industry have when converting leads. I mean, we've got all kinds of real estate agents and service providers out there that are paying an arm and a leg to get in front of these people. And as soon as that particular consumer reaches out and says, hey, I'd like help, or hey, I'd like more information on this property, we do a miserable job of converting that interested person into potential business. And it's something that I've really kind of built my business off of, because I got started in this business when I was 21 years old. It was in 2006. I had no money. I was young. I was fresh out of college. And the way for me to get in front of people was to pick up the phone and call people, do open houses, knock on doors, be visible, and then slowly but surely work on a website that at some point in the future, through organic material and pay-per-click advertising, was going to land me on the first page of Google, so that when people inquired, I got leads. And so fast forward now, and we're on track to do close to, if not a little over 100 deals this year. And one of the things that I think has really set me apart from my competition, I'm going to toot my own horn for just a quick second here, bear with me, is communication. It is when people hire me and we talk about the process from start to finish, either buying a home or selling a home, I like to set the right expectations. That's kind of a theme of this program, is setting the right expectations in real estate. So we sit down and we talk about what I'm going to do, and I have some guarantees in place that make sure that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I'm going to walk the walk, not just talk the talk, because that is one of the biggest issues in this industry. Is people sit down and they've worked really hard on this marketing plan, on this sales pitch, on marketing materials to get the business. But as soon as they get the business, the process for that consumer is so lackluster because of a lack of customer service, or because of a lack of processes that the agent has or has not put in place. I mean, the reason I'm talking about this, by the way, is we're at the time of year where a lot of people have had their homes for sale during the spring and summer months, and it still has not sold. We had a lot of properties come off the market in October that were listed from March until September that did not sell. And so there's this opportunity out there to work with new clients. And this is not just this year, but throughout my entire career, the biggest issue has been communication. All the people want is to know that you care enough about them and respect them enough to put on your calendar to call them and tell them what's going on. Outside of course, doing what you say you're going to do and getting the job done, at a bare minimum, they at least want you to contact them and say, hey, what's going on with the sale of my house? Or if you're a buyer, what's going on in the market? I haven't really heard from you. I'm just getting this recurring search of properties, but I could go online and search for properties myself. What value are you bringing to the table? And so it's something that I just want to focus on for this particular section of my show, because it's just really important. And it's something that our industry really is lacking in. It's something we need to do a better job of. And I will say that is one of the main reasons why you have agents that are all the way at the top that are doing multiple closings per month. And then you've got the agents at the bottom that are doing a few deals a year. And you've got this huge spread in between. We've got 5,000 agents in our market. And to be in the top 10% of agents, you have to sell a house a month. Selling a house a month is great, but it's certainly not going to fuel a lavish lifestyle. It's going to hardly pay the bills, quite frankly. And so we've got 90% of our realtor population that are really struggling with maintaining their business. And it's because they don't run their business like a business, and I'm not going to get into all that. But what I will say is that at a bare minimum, it doesn't cost you anything to communicate with clients. So I have something in my listing agreement that is in writing, and it's a communication guarantee. And it's incredibly important because a lot of the people that I work with have previously worked with a real estate agent that they had a bad experience with. So I go in and we have a conversation, and that particular person has a bad taste in their mouth about just the real estate industry as a whole, and rightfully so, because they were mistreated as a client. So I put a communication guarantee in my listing agreement. It very simply states that I will be in touch with you at least once per week from the time we list until the time we sell. And if I don't, you can fire me. When I talk to people about that, other agents aren't bringing that up. I think it's because they're afraid to be held accountable, quite frankly. I don't mind being held accountable. I show up to work every day. I do my job. I work hard at it. I work hard on the business and in the business. And I'm not concerned about being held accountable because I hold myself accountable. But offering that kind of guarantee, or offering my 59-day home sale guarantee, which states that I'll sell your home in less than 2 months, or I'll sell it for half my commission, provides the potential client with peace of mind that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, or I'm either going to lose the business or I'm going to lose money. Either way, I'm losing money, and that's not acceptable to me. I'm not in the business of losing money. So I just think that communication is incredibly important, and we talk a lot about it on the seller side of things, but on the buyer side of things, my God, it's so easy for a real estate agent to have a quick conversation with a buyer over the phone and then forget them. I mean, basically, this is what happens. Somebody inquires online about a property. That agent calls that particular buyer and they say, hey, how are you? My name is Brian Beatty with Keller Williams Realty, blah, blah, blah. What are you looking for in a home? Okay, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 to 2,000 square feet in West Ashley, between $200,000 and $300,000. Okay, great. I'm going to set you up with a search, and each time a new listing hits the market or an existing listing drops their price, you're going to receive an email. Just let me know if you see something of interest. That is what all real estate agents do, and it is the easiest way for real estate agents to work with a massive amount of buyers and offer zero customer service. Think about that. If you're a buyer and you're moving to the area, or you're moving into a new home for the first time, or you're moving up into a much more expensive price range, don't you want a real estate agent that is going to communicate with you at whatever frequency you want, by the way? Maybe you're not buying for 6 months. Maybe you need to buy something right now. But if I were if I were a buyer, I would certainly be frustrated if all an agent did was just set me up on some recurring search and then wait for me to contact them as if I know what the good deals are. When you hire a buyer agent, you're hiring them to gain an intimate knowledge of what you're looking for in a home, an area that you want to be in, what kind of deal you want, and the other facets of the process, and then go into the market and find that and then let you know. It's not just setting somebody up with a search and saying it's kind of the set it and forget it mentality. That's not what buyers want, I don't think. I think buyers want the experience of a real estate agent to call them up and say, hey, this new listing just hit the market. It seems like it's everything you're looking for, and it's actually priced really well. Let's go take a look at it. That's not hard, but that's not what real estate agents are doing. They're preferring to take the easy way out, like many other parts of the business, because they can have a system automate things for them. But at the end of the day, we're talking about communication. We're talking about setting the right expectations, doing what you say you're going to do, following through, following up, and running a business with integrity and results, of course. You know, everybody wants results. And if it takes a while to achieve results, then at least you can fill that time with consistent and quality communication. So that's my rant for this weekend. When we come back, I'm going to talk about a conversation that I had with my financial advisor, and I'm going to relate that to real estate because it was just an interesting conversation. If you'd like to reach out to me, if you have a real estate question, you're considering buying, selling, investing in real estate, reach out to me. My number is 843-345-1273, or go to my website, listingsincharleston.com, and you can take a look at everything for sale on the MLS. Take a look at everything I have for sale, everything I've sold, read some testimonials from past clients, and click on that Sell Your Home tab. If you're thinking about selling your house, you can learn more about my communication guarantee and my 59-day home sale guarantee. Again, the website, listingsincharleston.com. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
Visit Brian Beatty's website at listingsincharleston.com. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues next on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA. You're listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Welcome back, Charleston, and thanks again for tuning in. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA. Hey, we really appreciate all of your interest and time, and for those of you that call in when we take live calls, of course, we really appreciate your interest in real estate. If there's anything that I can do to help you out, if you're considering buying, selling, or investing in real estate, or if you just want to have a conversation with me, feel free to give me a call, 843-345-1273. Or you can visit my website, listingsincharleston.com. And on that site, you can take a look at everything that I have for sale, everything that I've sold. You can read some testimonials from past clients if you'd like, and then click on the Sell Your Home tab if you want to learn more about what I do to market my properties for sale. Again, listingsincharleston.com. Learn more about my 59-day home sale guarantee and my communication guarantee if you're considering selling your house. So I wanted to finish up this program and tell you a little bit about the conversation that I had with my financial advisor. And I trust my financial advisor explicitly, just like he trusts me with his real estate needs. I'm actually helping him and his wife close on a property, helping him sell a home and then buy a home. And it's been a long process. It was one of those deals where, I'll say it this way, it had the potential to be a very tricky process, and it ended up being a very tricky process. But we got him through it, and so we were at the kitchen table at my house talking with him and my wife and I about just our finances. We were talking about putting some money into the market and diversifying my portfolio, if you will. I think anybody that's listened to the show knows that I own real estate investment properties, and that's something that I help other people do is gain wealth in real estate. But, we're looking to diversify a little bit. And so obviously with everything that's gone on in the stock market and the incredible growth that it has seen over the past few years, it begs the question, is it a good time to invest in stocks? Should we be in the market? I personally don't have a dime in the market other than real estate. That's what I do. Those are my home run opportunities. And whenever I save up enough cash to buy a property for cash or finance one and flip it or hold on to it if it's a good rental property, I do just that. That is part of my retirement plan. It's also what fuels my supplemental income on a monthly basis. So we were talking, and we wanted to divide the money that we have, that we've been able to save, into three different groups. The home run opportunities, which is real estate investment by and far. That's where I have the ability to seek out good deals and make a lot of money in a short amount of time, either through flipping them or through buying something whenever somebody is in distress, getting a great deal on it, and then turning it into a rental property. So we've got the home run dollars. We've got the safe dollars, which we injected into a few different programs that create a return on investment, but it's easily accessible. And then we've got kind of the aggressive dollars that are more long-term, and we're okay and have a higher level and propensity for risk that we're going to put into the market. And so just talking with him about stocks, and you hear all these stories about, my financial advisor was able to, or my planner was able to get me 14% return on my money last year, or for the past 3 years. And so my buddy he's one of my really good friends, and he said, look, it's the same thing with real estate. A rising tide lifts all boats. And when you hear these stories about 14% returns and gains and so on and so forth, they're out there, but a lot of people are getting that right now. And if we were to put your money into the market right now with the expectation that that's going to continue, I think that is poor planning. I think that's poor advice. I think what you do is you take some of this money that you have set aside and you wait for the right entry point based on your expectations and based on your propensity for risk. And then we go about things that way. But I don't think it's the right time for you to just take money, put it in the stock market with the expectation that we're going to go gangbusters and we're going to have huge gains on that investment. And he said, quite frankly, the cash that you have needs to be saved for real estate because that's where you make all your money. That's where the big home run opportunities come from. And I really appreciated that, of course, because I think there are plenty of people out there that would say, yeah, the stock market's doing great. Let's get in there. Let's get in there while it's hot. The same thing happens with housing. And obviously people always ask me what's going on in our market. And it's always a very open-ended question, something like, hey, how's the market? And so, of course, I have to try and dissect that and determine what it is that they're actually asking me. Are you asking me what's going on with pricing? Are you asking me what's going on with sales? So on and so forth. So, I guess that's just the overcomplicated person that I am. I always have to try and give the right answer rather than just some sort of open-ended answer, generic in nature. But let me just kind of tell you where we are with housing right now. Let me give you kind of the macro view, if you will, the 30,000 foot view on what's going on with real estate. All right. So first and foremost, people always want to know about price. And let's look at August this year as an example. August this year, prices were up about 6.5% nationally from where they were in August of 2013. And the reason I'm choosing August is because August is when we have a very, very high month in closings. It's when contracts were written in June and July, which represents the busiest time in our market historically, and I would say nationally as well. And so we look at August and we say, all right, there was this nice jump in pricing month over month. But if you look at August of 2013, appreciation was almost twice that. Prices were up about 13% in 2013, and they're up double digits again this year in many areas, especially in areas of Charleston. And if you think back to the beginning of 2013, when they were talking about what was going to happen in 2013, people predicted, of course, a year of growth because we were positioned for recovery. We had really low interest rates. Inventory was starting to reduce. Builders were finally just starting to get back into the market and say, all right, the economy seems to be strong enough for us to start putting some product out there. And by the way, new housing starts were up in September of this year, more than expected. So we've got some nice momentum built there. But again, looking back, the Case-Shiller Index said that we were only going to appreciate in price 4 to 5% in 2014. Well, we've blown that out of the water. And in many areas of the country, especially here in Charleston, especially in places like, frankly, the Tri-County area. I mean, prices are just up higher than expected, which means that they overshot the equilibrium, basically. We were expecting for things to kind of flatten out, but they kept rising. And so if we look at what caused that, of course, it's low interest rates, it's inventory that continued to reduce, which created more competitive environments for buyers, which caused them to make better offers, which led to increase in pricing and more sales and a reduction in just the month's supply of inventory that we have. And so as our market continues to grow, at some point, inevitably, we will slow down. And I've been saying this for a long time. It cannot continue at this pace. We've been recovering for years now, and we've had some great recovery, and we've had some great gains. But we need to look forward a little bit here, especially for those that are considering investing in real estate, and we need to have a good understanding of what could potentially happen so that we can make that calculated risk. We can make that calculated decision about whether we want to inject some capital now. Maybe we want to wait a little bit. Maybe we don't inject capital at all. But if you want a really in-depth analysis of what's going on in our market, the best thing to do is just give me a call, and I'll talk your ear off about it if you'd like for me to. Best way to do that is to give me a call, 843-345-1273, or go to my website, listingsincharleston.com, and submit a message to me there, and I will be back in touch with you in a matter of minutes. So I'm out of time. I'm going to go ahead and head out. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Again, if I can help you in any way, shape, or form, listingsincharleston.com is the website. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA.
Join us for another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show next Saturday morning from 8 till 9. Contact Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-345-1273. 843-345-1273.